Sometimes, healing doesn't arrive with fanfare or grand gestures, it walks quietly into your life wearing a waitress's apron, speaking softly to your child, and reminding you what love once felt like. Sophia's tiny fingers slipped from her father's hand as she darted toward the smiling waitress. Lorenzo Castellano, the most feared man in New York, froze in disbelief as his 5-year-old daughter wrapped her arms around a stranger's legs. "I want her to be my new mommy," Sophia whispered, loud enough for every guest at Bella Vista to hear. The waitress's eyes widened, her cheeks blooming pink as the restaurant fell silent. Lorenzo's jaw tightened, his hand brushing instinctively toward his jacket. But then he saw it, the unmistakable light in Sophia's eyes, a spark of joy he hadn't seen since the accident that stole Isabella from them 3 years ago. The young waitress crouched down, answering in soft Italian that made Sophia giggle, a sound Lorenzo thought he'd never hear again. In that instant, he knew his carefully controlled world was about to shift forever. If you want to know how this one simple moment transformed New York's most dangerous man and healed a shattered family, subscribe and tell us where you're watching from. Every view helps us share more stories of love finding its way through the darkness. 3 hours earlier, Lorenzo Castellano had been sitting in his penthouse office overlooking Manhattan, staring at the date circled on his desk calendar, October 15th. The day his world had fallen apart. 3 years ago, Isabella had died in a car crash on her way home from Sophia's dance recital, leaving Lorenzo to raise their daughter alone in a world where tenderness could be fatal. A knock on the door interrupted his thoughts. "Boss," said Marco, his right-hand man, "Sophia's nanny called in sick again. That's the 3rd time this month." Lorenzo's jaw flexed. None of the nannies ever lasted. Sophia had grown quiet, drawing angels that looked heartbreakingly like her mother. "Cancel my meetings," he said, pulling loose his tie. "I'll take her to dinner." At home, he found Sophia sitting on her bed, clutching her worn teddy bear, the one that still smelled faintly of Isabella's perfume. "Principessa," he said softly, kneeling beside her. "Dinner, just you and me?" Her big brown eyes lifted. "Can we go to the place with the pretty lights? Where Mommy used to take me?" His throat tightened. Bella Vista. The small Italian restaurant Isabella had loved. He'd avoided it for 3 years. But seeing that flicker of excitement in his daughter's eyes, he couldn't say no. "Of course, amore. Get your coat." Bella Vista hadn't changed. The same warm glow, the same scent of garlic and basil, the same ache of memory. Lorenzo chose a corner table, his bodyguard's position discreetly nearby. "Daddy," Sophia whispered, "it smells like Mommy's cooking." "Yes, it does," he murmured. And then she appeared. Mia Grace Sullivan moved between tables with effortless grace, her auburn hair glinting in the light as she laughed with an elderly couple. She wore the restaurant's plain black uniform, but there was something radiant about her, something genuine. When she reached their table, her green eyes softened instantly at the sight of Sophia. "Good evening," she said with a melodic lilt. "Welcome to Bella Vista. I'm Mia, and I'll be taking care of you tonight." Sophia stared. "You're pretty, like my mommy was," she said shyly. Lorenzo's breath caught. But Mia didn't offer awkward sympathy. She smiled gently. "Sophia is a beautiful name, it means wisdom, you know. I bet you're very wise for such a little lady." Sophia beamed. "I know some Italian words. Nana Isabella taught me before she went to heaven." Mia's face brightened. "Davvero? Wonderful. Shall we practice together? Gelato?" Sophia giggled. "Dopo, per favor. After dinner." Lorenzo watched, stunned. For the first time in years, Sophia was animated, alive. When Mia turned to him, he saw her hesitate, recognizing him perhaps, yet showing no fear, only quiet curiosity. "The osso buco," he said roughly. "And whatever she wants." "I want spaghetti with the little meatballs," Sophia chirped. "And can Mia eat with us?" Mia's cheeks pinkened. "Oh, sweetheart, I have to work, but I'll visit your table often, okay?" As she walked away, Lorenzo couldn't tear his eyes from her. Throughout the evening, Mia checked on them often, chatting with Sophia in Italian, listening to her stories about dance class and her goldfish.
Each moment brought new light into Sophia's face and into Lorenzo's heart. "Daddy," Sophia said as they finished, "she makes me feel warm inside. Like mommy used to." Lorenzo swallowed hard. "She seems very kind, Principessa. Can we come back tomorrow?" Before he could reply, Mia returned, with a small gelato topped with a paper umbrella.
"For my most beautiful customer," she said with a wink. Sophia clapped her hands, eyes glowing.
"Will you be here tomorrow? I want to show you my drawings of angels."
"I'd love that," Mia said softly. When they left, Sophia slipped her hand into her father's, a gesture he hadn't felt in years.
"Daddy," she said, "I think the angels sent her to us."
Lorenzo looked back at the window, where Mia waved, her smile warming something long frozen inside him.
The next evening, Lorenzo found himself driving to Bella Vista again, telling himself it was for Sophia.
She'd spent all day drawing pictures for the lady with the pretty smile.
"Is Mia working tonight?"
Sophia asked, clutching her drawings. "We'll see, amore," Lorenzo said. But he already knew he'd called ahead.
When they arrived, Mia's face lit up. "Sophia! You came back!" Sophia proudly showed her drawings, explaining each angel. "This one's Mommy. This one's Nana. This one watches over Daddy when he's sad, and this one's you." Mia blinked away tears. "That's the most beautiful gift I've ever received. May I keep it?" "Really? You want to keep my picture?" "I want to see it every day." As they talked, Lorenzo studied Mia's face, so open, so genuine. When Sophia asked if she had children, Mia smiled sadly. "No, not yet." Sophia tilted her head. "You should. You'd be a good mommy. Maybe you can share me." Mia's eyes met Lorenzo's across the table, pain and tenderness mingling there.
"I think sharing sounds perfect," she said softly. When Sophia invited Mia to visit their home, Lorenzo almost refused, but the hope in his daughter's eyes broke through his defenses. "Saturday," he heard himself say.
2:00.
That Saturday, Lorenzo paced his penthouse. His security team had run a full background check. Mia Grace Sullivan, 24, college student, no record, no ties to anyone dangerous.
Pure. Ordinary.
Everything his world wasn't. When she arrived, Sophia pulled her straight inside, showing her toys, fish, and music boxes.
"This one was Mommy's favorite," Sophia said. Sometimes I forget her voice. Mia knelt beside her.
"Close your eyes and listen here," she said, touching Sophia's heart. "You'll hear her say she's proud of you."
Lorenzo stepped out to the balcony, swallowing hard. Moments later, Mia joined him.
"She's special," Mia said softly.
"You've done a wonderful job." "Have I?" he rasped.
She didn't speak for 2 years.
"She's healing," Mia said. "Because she feels safe again."
They stood in silence, the city glowing below.
For the first time, Lorenzo felt peace. "Mia," he said quietly, "would you come by more often? She asks for you constantly."
"I'd love to," she whispered. That evening, as they baked cookies together, Lorenzo watched Sophia laugh, really laugh, and thought, maybe there's still light left for us.
Weeks passed.
Mia became part of their lives, helping with homework, reading Italian storybooks, filling the house with laughter again. One night, Sophia ran into his office wearing a glittery paper crown.
"Mia made me a princess crown." Lorenzo looked up.
Mia stood in the doorway, cheeks flushed, glitter on her nose. "It's magnificent," he said, lifting Sophia onto his lap. "Mia says every daddy is a king who protects his princess," Sophia giggled. Their eyes met over her head, a look that lingered too long.
Later, when Sophia slept, Lorenzo found Mia cleaning the kitchen.
"You don't need to do that," he said. "I made the mess," she smiled. He stepped closer.
"Mia, do you know what I do?"
"I know enough," she said softly. "What frightens me isn't your work, it's the idea of Sophia growing up unloved."
"You're not the monster people whisper about. I see how you love her."
He exhaled, something breaking open inside.
You're not afraid of me? Should I be? She asked gently. He reached out, brushing a strand of hair from her face. You see too much. Maybe you don't see enough. Their breath mingled. Mia, he whispered, then a small voice cut through. Daddy? Sophia stood in the doorway, clutching her teddy bear. I had a bad dream. The angels went away. They're still here, he murmured, hugging her close. Even the angel. Mia smiled through tears. I'm not going anywhere, sweet girl. I promise. She began to sing softly, Stella, Stellina, the same lullaby Isabella used to sing. Lorenzo felt tears burn as Sophia drifted to sleep. Afterward, at the door, Mia looked up at him. Whatever this is, Lorenzo, Sophia comes first. Always. He nodded. That's one of the things he stopped. Her eyes softened. I know. That night, his phone rang. Marco's voice was tense. Boss, they took her. The waitress. The Rossis have her. Lorenzo's blood ran cold. Within an hour, he was standing in an abandoned warehouse, facing Vincent Rossi. Mia sat bound and terrified, but her eyes found his. Trust. You've made a big mistake, Lorenzo said coldly. Vincent smirked. The docs, Lorenzo. Sign them over, or she disappears. Lorenzo's voice turned to steel. Touch her, and it's war. Moments later, the air erupted with gunfire. When it ended, Vincent lay bleeding, his men dead. Lorenzo rushed to Mia, freeing her from her restraints. Are you hurt? I'm okay, she whispered. I never meant for this to happen. It's not your fault, he said fiercely. Back home, while Sophia slept, Lorenzo faced her with hollow eyes. You have to leave. It's too dangerous. I can't lose you too. Mia stood, trembling, but her voice was steady. Do you think I don't know the risks? What scares me more is never seeing Sophia again. Or you. He froze. Mia. I love you. Both of you, she said. Sophia is the daughter of my heart, and you, Lorenzo, are the man I never knew I was waiting for. He shook his head. If you stay, you'll always be a target. Then we'll face it together, she said, placing a hand over his heart. Love is worth the risk. Something inside him finally broke. I love you, he whispered. God help me, I love you. Then choose us, she whispered back. He kissed her, years of grief dissolving in that single moment. Marry me, he breathed when they parted. Mia's eyes widened. Lorenzo. I've wasted enough time. Be my wife. Be Sophia's mother. A small voice interrupted. Yes, Daddy, say yes. Sophia stood sleepily in the doorway. Is Mia going to be my new mommy? If you want me to be, Mia said, kneeling. Sophia smiled through tears. I told the angels to send you. Lorenzo held them both, tears falling freely. After 3 years of darkness, the angels had answered. 2 years later, the garden bloomed with Isabella's roses. Sophia ran among them, chasing butterflies in a white dress, her flower crown slipping sideways. Look, Mommy Mia, she laughed, holding up a caterpillar. It's going to turn into a butterfly, just like you turned into our angel. Lorenzo wrapped his arms around Mia from behind, kissing her temple. Second thoughts about marrying into this chaos, he teased. She smiled, one hand resting gently on the small curve of her belly, a secret they'd soon share with Sophia. Never. This is exactly where I belong. As they walked toward their daughter, hand in hand, Lorenzo thought about the night it all began, the night his little girl chose a waitress over dessert. She had chosen love. She had chosen family. And in doing so, she'd chosen their forever.